Let's start with the one that hurts the most. Here's the reality that a lot of people don't want to realize. Most editors are hoarders. They keep clips because we're scared to let them go. We spend 3 hours shooting that slider shot and my God, it's going in the timeline, whether it deserves to be there or not. Here's the rule. When you watch your edit back and the clip makes you feel nothing, it's gone. Doesn't matter how hard you work to get it. Doesn't matter how beautiful it is, because it's isolated. If it's not moving the story forward, it's moving the client away from paying you again. So let me get to the real world example. I was cutting a commercial last month, fitness brand. Had a glorious slow motion kettlebell shot. The cinematography of it was just magnificent, like that of a Michael Bay movie per se in slow motion, with things blowing up anywhere, backlit, the whole thing. But the edit flowed better without it. I cut it. The client never missed it. They didn't even know that it existed. But they did notice that the edit felt tighter. That's the point. They can't tell what's wrong, and they just want to feel something at the end of the day. Now that one's hard because it's a mind shift. The next one is hard because it's a discipline shift, and it's a rule that separates editors who finish projects from editors who burn out. Keep watching. Tip number 2, take breaks. All right, this one sounds soft, but it's not. Here's what actually happens. You're 6 hours into the edit, your eyes are glazed over, you stop seeing the edit and you start seeing what you want to see. The mind is very powerful, right? You will straight up ignore a jump cut that's been sitting there for 2 hours because your brain has decided it belongs there. That's the mistake ship right there. That's when a client watches your export and says, hey, what's that weird cut at, minute 143? Now you're fixing things for free because you were too stubborn to walk away for just 20 minutes. The rule is simple. Every 90 minutes, stand up, walk outside, don't look at a screen, come back with a fresh pair of eyes, and I promise you, you will catch things that you miss every single time. The first 2 rules were about discipline, but the next one is going to be a straight up cheat code, and it works in Final Cut Pro, Premiere, Resolve, it doesn't matter. Just stay with me. Tip number 3, flip the edit. Let me show you the fastest way to trick your brain into seeing mistakes it's been ignoring for hours. Here's what you do. You take that edit. I want you to flip it horizontally, right? Every NLE has a way to do that. It's in the presets for Final Cut, so I just do it there. Then I want you to drop a saturation to 0, and I want you to watch it in black and white, completely mirrored. What happens is wild. Your brain treats it like a brand new video. It can't rely on the same shortcuts anymore because it's a new visual. Suddenly, that cut at 2 minutes and 15 seconds that felt smooth, you see that jump, right? The color grade you thought was clean, well, it looks muddy in black and white because the contrast is off. Right? The pace issue you didn't notice before. This only takes about 30 seconds to set up, and it will save you from shipping work that makes it look like you're a beginner. I do this before every client export, every single one of them, absolutely no exceptions. So we've covered cutting, breaking, and flipping. Those are safety nets. The next rule is where the craft starts to get really iffy, okay? And it's the one that most editors skip entirely. Before we get into heavy lifting, if you're getting any value from this, hit the like button. It tells YouTube to push this to other filmmakers who need to hear this, and subscribe. As you can see, I'm not balling with subscribers right now, and it would definitely help me out. And if you want more real talk like this about turning video skills into actual income, hey, let's just keep going, right? Tip number 4, arrive late, leave early. Bear with me now, right? This next rule, I learned it the hard way. On a client edit, I had to recut 3 different times. It was the restaurant one, actually. Here's the concept. Every clip in your timeline has a sweet spot. The beginning is usually a dead air. Someone walks in the frame, the camera settles, whatever. The end of the action, trailing off. The job is to find exactly where the clip starts to matter and exactly where it stops mattering. Does that make sense? Think of it like a party. You don't show up at 6 p.m. when the host is still setting up the chairs. You arrive when the energy hits, and you leave before the people start looking for their phones. Same thing with the clips. In practice, this means trimming the first 3 to 5 frames of almost every clip, and the last 2 or 3 frames at the end of the clip. Does it sound minor? It's not, right? Across the 3-minute edit, those micro clip compounds make a huge difference. The edit feels faster, more intentional. The client doesn't even know why. They just know that it doesn't drag. Now, if you're trimming frames, you might accidentally cut too tight. The next rule, is how to fix that. And it's counterintuitive, so don't skip it. Tip number 5, double up on action. This sounds wrong until it works. Double up on the action. Here's what I mean. When you cut from one angle to another on the same action, say someone picks up a product, like most editors cut exactly at that motion, like it's a clean cut, one angle to the next. But here's the problem. Your audience blinks. Everyone has eyeballs. We blink. They literally blink and they miss the transition. It's really weird, hard to describe, but in that edit, it feels jarring even if you can't explain why. And the fix is to add 2 or 3 frames of the same action across the cut. Let the action overlap per se. The hand reaches for the product in the wide shot and the close-up starts with the hand almost reaching it. Those overlapping frames, they act like a cushion. The edit feels a lot smoother because the brain has to like a split second to register like the new angle while seeing something familiar, basically. Think of it as giving the audience a blank. There your brain fills in that gap. It's a smooth edit, it's a happy client, and it's repeat business. We've covered the timeline techniques. Now we're getting into the rules that require actual footage review. And the next one is the foundation of every professional edit I've ever delivered. Stick with me. Tip number 6, watch all the footage. This might be the most boring rule on the list, and also one that saved me countless times. Most editors start cutting the moment footage hits the drive. They skim, they grab the obvious shots, but they miss the gold, right? Here is what I do before I touch the timeline. I watch everything, every take, every angle, every accidental clip where the camera kept rolling because someone forgot to hit stop. I take these notes. I mark, one frame where the light hits perfectly, the half-second reaction that the talent had before takes, the B-roll clips that, seemed useless, but it's actually a perfect transition. This process is boring, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is slow. It's also the reason I find shots other editors miss. The client doesn't know that you're watching an hour of footage to find the 3-second clip, but they feel the difference. They feel like their videos have something special. And that feeling, that's what gets you the next job, y'all. Let's get straight to the facts. If you skip this step, you're leaving the best version of this edit on the cutting room floor. All right, we've covered the foundations. Now we go to the visuals, all right? The last rule is the one that separates the professional edits from hobby work. Let's get to it. Tip number 7, show, don't tell. All right, here's where we have that harsh reality check. If your edit relies on what the narrator says instead of the audience sees, you're making a podcast with pictures. This is the rule that cost me my first client. I'd write narrations that explained everything. Then I drop B-roll over it and I call it done. The result, a video that works with the sound off, but doesn't work with the sound on, because the visuals are just wallpaper. The fix is simple to say and hard to do. Every shot needs to earn its place. Before you drop a clip in the timeline, ask yourself, is this shot telling a story, or is it just filling in space while the voiceover talks? If it's just filling space, cut it. Find a shot that actually communicates something. Here's the test. Watch your edit with the sound off. Does it still make sense? Can you follow the story just through the visuals? If yes, you're editing. If no, you're assembling. Clients are paying for editing. They can assemble themselves. So stop letting the narration do all the heavy lifting. Make the visuals work. That's what separates the filmmakers from someone who owns a camera. Finally, the payoff. Here's the secret, right? The thing nobody tells you when you started out. These 7 rules, they're not editing techniques, they're client retention techniques. Every single one of these rules answers the same questions. Will this make the client feel like they made the right choice hiring me? Will you cut the fluff? Will you lead with their eyes? Will you show them instead of tell them? You're not just making better videos, you're making the client feel smarter for choosing you. That's what turns one-time projects into like monthly retainers. Editing isn't about transitions and LUTs and fancy keyframes. It's about making someone's business look so good on screen that they can't imagine working with somebody else. If this hits home, I want you to hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button as well. It totally helps me out in this little YouTube world right here, which is arguably the biggest form factor right now. I'm dropping more client work breakdowns every week, real projects, real budgets, real results. Now, stop letting your timeline limit your hustle. Keep creating, y'all. Peace.